Yeah, as you mentioned, temperatures warming up. Yesterday, a perfect example of that, and that means people are spending more time outside. Health experts are with a warning to keep an eye out for ticks because more and more Lone Star ticks in particular are popping up in our area, and one bite can cause something called alpha-gal syndrome, which is a condition that causes people to develop an allergy to red meat, something that we were not aware of. For more on the tick condition and what we need to look out for, Dr. Alex Cumby joins us, a tick researcher at the Department of Entomology at the Eastwood Disease Ecology Lab. First of all, that tick is a bit excessive. I don't know if you can see the size, but if they were that big, I would never leave the house. Second of all, good morning. Good to see you.
Good morning. Good to see you as well.
Okay, so first of all, how does someone get into your line of work? How much do you actually love bugs and insects to do this?
Absolutely love bugs and insects. You know, it's kind of interesting. Most of us come in from different pathways, but a lot of us are really focused on human health, animal health, and those kinds of things, and vectors, especially ticks, you know, mosquitoes, stuff like that. Definitely are causing major waves, you know, across the United States and around the world. So yeah, those are some lovely pictures of the Lone Star tick, which is the tick species responsible for transmitting the sugar that causes the red meat allergy.
So before we get into the connection with the allergy, talk about the Lone Star tick itself, because a lot of times when we hear, you know, ticks, the biggest, honestly, danger that we've heard about recently is obviously Lyme disease, and that seems to be the main point of concern. How does the Lone Star tick differ from something else that we might have here in the D.C. area?
Sure. So you mentioned Lyme disease. So the tick responsible for that is the black-legged tick, Ixodes scapularis. So the Lone Star tick, which we're looking at today, cannot transmit the pathogen that causes Lyme disease. So you're not going to be having much of a worry when it comes to this tick species in particular. But the Lone Star tick, this is an aggressive tick species. You can see by the mouth parts. These are really long mouth parts that they use when they bite people. And this tick species very well accommodated to many different environmental conditions. We saw before with the weather report, there's, you know, lots of green, lots of humidity out there. It's perfect for this tick species to really do what it needs to do and find people and bite them.
So the correlation between this and the red meat allergy, where does that come from?
So this particular tick species, unlike other tick species, has a sugar in its saliva called alpha-galactose. And so when this tick species bites a person, your body elicits a response. It's an allergic reaction to that alpha-galactose sugar, and it forms antibodies, which will then ramp up your immune system and cause these allergic reactions. And this same sugar is present in the tissues of red meat.
Wow. So is it just red meat that we know about right now, or is there other foods that it could also have a similar effect?
It's just red meat, although some people do experience the allergic reaction with dairy products as well. So there is some of that alpha-galactose sugar also in dairy products.
So as far as the reaction, and maybe this is a signal if you didn't realize that you had the bite, maybe you just suddenly are like, why is red meat not agreeing with me? Is it really that? Like, is the reaction more of a digestive issue, or is it just that we've lost our palate for that particular food?
So when it first starts out, and so it's based off of your exposure to this tick. So the more you're bitten by this tick, the more likely you might develop this allergy because it's kind of priming your immune system. And not everybody who gets bit by this tick, you know, develops the red meat allergy. I've been bit by this tick several times. I have never developed it. So a lot of it has to do with your own immune system as well. But what's interesting is you will develop it kind of slowly. So you have some gastrointestinal issues to start with when you eat red meat, and that could be a sign that you're starting to develop an allergy. And then some people have very severe cases where they develop anaphylaxis.
All right, I want to jump in real quick, Dr. Alex, because we're out of time. But just for people who are watching here in the D.C. area, how much of a chance is there that this tick would be in the D.C. area, or are there places to avoid to make sure that we don't get it?
Absolutely very high. We did not have a very cold winter, so this tick was able to overwinter the nymphal stages. So this tick is out right now in the D.C. area, Maryland and Virginia.
Right,
so your likelihood of encountering is pretty high.
Yep,
so.
Got to check ourselves, make sure that we don't get that and have more problems. Thank you, Dr. Alex. Good to talk to you this morning. Appreciate you joining us. All right, there's the information if you want to find out more about the lab. In the meantime, Wisdom, back to you.
All right, thank you, Steve. 9:20 is the time right now.